Approximately 72 and a half weeks ago, Jason McBobblederdonaldson taught us all how to be cool. But there are still people who are unsatisfied. They still aren't cool yet. Still being made fun of at school. So, Dank Anime Reviews 2471 has gotten all his power together and summoned a cool teacher.
Hello, my name is Jason McBobblederdonaldson Charles Stevenson, and I will be teaching you how to be really cool. Now, you have followed my last lesson on how to be cool and still has not worked yet. You are still not the cool kid. Well, no need to fret, because your let will be met on net. First, did you wake up in the morning with cool kid clothes or old-fashioned plain old normie McNormie clothes? If you did wake up with the cool kid clothes, you can give that little box on the checklist a little check. Ha! Next, you need to see if you took a picture of everything that happened in your life. If you did so, you can check list off that, and we will now proceed into how to becoming the really cool kid that is the me. Now, there is a big difference from just being cool and very cool. You see, when you're just cool, you only get the average attention from your average classmate. But when you're really cool, you get the free apple cider every single day you walk into the school, and you get the most premium toilet paper whenever you pee at the urinal. However, one may say that girls can't pee on the urinal. Well, to that, I say you, the person who said that, is not a cool kid, because you have violated rule number 3, which brings me to rule number 3, which you have to wear the cool kid clothes. Now, wearing expensive, overpriced, hypebeast clothes. Now, wearing top brand, rip-off, expensive clothes no longer make you really cool. It only makes you sort of cool. But that's not what we want here. We want to be really cool. To be really cool, you have to go to the Apple website and buy the Apple stand, which only comes at a simple price of $12.99. Oh, and you thought I was talking about $12.99. Wrong, I'm talking about $129.90. Wrong again, you've been bamboozled. The actual cost is only a simple price of $12.99.69 plus tax, plus shipping rates. And once you bought that, you are now a cool kid. Just kidding! You are not cool just yet. You still have to follow the next 4 rules, which brings us to the second rule of being cool, which I have not mentioned in my previous lesson. And that second important rule is rule number 1, to always use the cool kid vocabulary. Now you see, reading all these mainstream hard books with all these extensive vocabulary is not what we want here. We want to be cool kids, not nerds. Which is exactly why I'm proud to announce my product, the Cool Kid Book. The Cool Kid Book consists of all the vocabulary you will ever need inside your entire life of being a cool kid. The Cool Kid vocabulary book includes
Dog, fam, yo, chill, damn. Let me just tell you, pulchritudinous. And here are some big no-no words that you should never use. Instead, replace them with these.
The following rule is more important than any other rule. More important than the first rule. More important than the second rule. More important than the third and first rule combined. So, cut the music. Now for this rule, we need to have a heart-to-heart talk about this rule. Which is exactly what you don't need. You do not need a heart to be a cool kid. That's boring old nerd stuff. Cool kids don't need a heart. They don't need heart. They don't need square. They don't need rhombus. They don't need parallelogram. They don't need a trapezoid. What cool kids need is a recorder. As we all know, a recorder is a stick shape, and 3 sticks combined make a heart, which is exactly what cool kids need, because we need heart to live. Because heart brings oxygen and feelings and puts oxygen plus feeling together, which makes sugar. And I know I said that previous rule is the most important, but I lied. This rule is more important than the previous rule and this rule combined. Now, what is this rule? The rule that is to walk properly. Now, in my previous lesson, I've taught you to walk exactly like this. However, I know somebody who has used that strategy and failed to becoming cool. His name goes by DC. Now, DC was an average child. He wasn't cool at all, alright? So one day, he saw this video and he wanted to become cool. So, he started to walk like a cool kid. But, he forgot one major flaw. When he was doing that movement, he forgot to shake his hands, which is exactly why all his friends laughed at him and they became no more friends because his friends were inexistent and then they gone forever. Which is exactly why I have to stress this so much. But in order to do the cool kid walk, you have to follow exactly what I tell you to do. You put your first hand out like this, and you put your next first hand out like this, and then you have to shake it. And then you alternate the shaking, and then you have to add in the motion, which makes you extra cool. Oh, but I know exactly what you're gonna say. Oh, JasonMcbobblederdonaldson, I did that walk and it didn't work. And your new walk seems like the exact same thing as your old walk. So how would I know that worked? Well, I have an example, a proof that this walk worked. You see, that same old man, DD, was walking exactly like that. However, he followed my rules and he changed the movement, and all of a sudden, all his friends became his friends again. And then he became the coolest kid in Coolsville of Cool Town. Thank you all, and that concludes our lesson of how to be really cool. Not just cool. Warning, warning, beep, beep, beep. The lesson didn't end because there is one more lesson to be taught before this lesson ends. And that lesson is the one lesson to how to be really cool, and that will finalize your coolness of the cool kid. This lesson has 3 components, which I will be splitting into 3 pieces so that it will be less confusing for all of you. The first component is to be generous and help others in need. Now, the second component is to do the cool kid dance. Whenever you do this dance to any guy or any girl, they will instantly know that you are very cool. Ha! Thank you, and that concludes our brief class on how to be cool.